Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday and it is actually a bit late, at least to start this vlog. It is about 10 o'clock. I have been up since 7:30. No, not even 6:30, I think. Yeah, my body doesn't let me sleep anymore these days. Anyway, yesterday I did not do much reading. I got home from work and we just hung out. We just did things. We just did normal people things. And I read a little bit of The Wicked Deep. So let me put you down. So I got to about 150 pages of The Wicked Deep last night and I fell asleep reading it. It is by Jae Carbon and I am loving it so far. I felt the beginnings of a possible reading slump and I was like, guys, I can't deal with a reading slump right now. I have so much to read, so much to like talk about and review in the upcoming weeks that I needed something good, especially after DNFing the 5th season. I may come back to it, I don't know though. So this is going very well. If you don't know what The Wicked Deep is about, it is about a town called Sparrow that 200 years ago from when the book takes place, they executed 3 young sisters as witches. And now every summer they come back as ghosts, inhabit 3 girls' bodies, and they lure young men into the harbor to drown. And our main protagonist, his name is Penny, and it is so good so far. It is atmospheric and spooky and just like, I've said before, I love environments near the sea or near water, and this is giving me very much like spooky small town vibes and I like it. I'm so interested in that sort of setting, so it's been very good so far. It is definitely not inducing the beginnings of a reading slump. It's definitely pulling me out of that feeling, so that's great. I'm about halfway through, so it's not a very long book. So I'm hoping to finish this like today maybe. And then what I want to do is I want to break up that book by reading the last Junji Ito manga that my friend Casey let me borrow. It is Shiver, and this is a collection of scary short manga stories. I am very excited about this because we're in the spooky mood. And then after I finish Shiver, I would love to move on to Queen of Nothing because, guys, I have waited. I actually have not waited half as long as some people because I read The Cruel Prince, why can't I talk? The Cruel Prince maybe a couple months ago for the first time, and some people have been waiting for Queen of Nothing for like 2 years or something like that. I read The Cruel Prince a couple months ago. I read The Wicked King like a couple weeks ago, and it left on such a cliffhanger. And look, it's really not that long. The last book in this trilogy by Holly Black is not that long. And I know that's not indicative of quality, but I'm freaking out a little bit. So that is my lineup for the weekend, but I am interested to see how it will go. I don't have a lot of plans for this weekend. I do have a lot of like YouTube, booktube stuff, and then I'll probably be creating more book sleeves. I'll hopefully be able to vlog that for you. It was just such a crazy mess when I did it for the first time last week that I just didn't include any footage. I didn't bother with it because it was just too much. And let me show you something. So if I am talking rapidly, a little bit like I'm on coke, it's because we got a new coffee machine. We got this very fancy Nespresso machine and I got a milk frother. Let me show it to you. So this is the Nespresso machine. Oh, focus. Yep. So this is the Nespresso machine. It is very sleek and very nice looking. And so if you lift it up, oh God, what am I doing? It does that on its own. It discarded an extra pot over there. And it has a little water tank in the back. and it's heating up water now, which I didn't want it to do, but whatever, I wanted to show you. And then I also got a milk frother to go with, so that's cool. I put soy milk in here after I make the espresso over here, and it's just a lovely little latte. And I also got some syrups to go with it. I'm not sure I'm putting the right amount of syrup in my coffee because I don't really taste it that much, but maybe we'll experiment with it later. And then I got some pods And it came with this cool little pod holder. So this is what they look like. They're really beautiful. And what's cool about this is that they will recycle the pods for you. Hi, Tag. So yeah, I got a bunch so that we could try a whole bunch. Look at this like sample pack that they sent. Ooh, yeah. So we hella caffeinated over here right now. I'm probably not gonna make another one soon because I had a latte earlier and I'm still freaking out a little bit about it. My heart is still racing. Hopefully that means we're gonna get a lot of good reading done today. I'm really pumped for it. Oh God, the lighting. Okay, and my kitchen is a mess, don't look at that. But I will show you when I make a latte later, so you can see that process. I'm very excited. It is an early Christmas gift to all of us, not to just my boyfriend who is obsessed with coffee. He's determined to think that it was just for him, but it's not. It is for all of us. So let's read about some ghostly witches. Hello, quick check-in. Oh, are you gonna focus? Focus. Okay. So I am at the 200 page mark, which means I really only have about 108 pages left of this book. Things are happening. I'm always surprised at how like things really move quickly in a book that's 300 pages or less. So it's going well. The atmosphere is just building and building and secrets are unfurling and I am into it. I forget sometimes that some young adult fiction is definitely more young adult than the other. And I feel like sometimes when romances are involved, especially in a book this short, that to me, as someone who's old, I'm almost 30, I'm turning 28 this year, but it feels like some young adult romances are very insta-lovey, but in reality, when I think about it, it's not as insta-lovey as it seems. Everything in a teenager's eyes is just like, it's the end of the world or it's the beginning of the world, especially when it comes to love. But let me show you, because my boyfriend is gonna make some coffee with an espresso and I'm still too caffeinated for another coffee. He is going to make a latte so you can see how that is done. Okay. Hello, I am gonna cite you on my dog. He doesn't like it, sorry. There he is. He's your Mixie. So, I have just completed The Wicked Deep. Guys, it was lovely. It was just pure loveliness and very sad at some parts. Well, I thought it was a little sad at some parts. I don't know how to explain it. It's so atmospheric. Shea Earnshaw really knows how to just weave a story of, I don't know, that just feels like it's rooted in history and has always been around. It's almost mythical. That's what I think I'm going for. She just does so well to develop the history of the town that this is taking place in and just sort of the atmosphere of the sea and the island that is next to the town that a lot of this takes place of. And you know, it is about witches, but then it's not about witches. They never actually address like magic and witchery directly. It's sort of implied, but then it's also, the way they explain it is that it might have been magic that these three sisters practiced, but it also might have been that they were just extra charming and they were rather good with herbs and they were very charismatic. So that made them outliers of like the normal female population in the 1800s. So I thought that was very interesting. And I also thought that there was like an underlying theme of xenophobia in the book. And, you know, it doesn't really dig deep into it, but they do talk about how, you know, the town that our main protagonist lives in, Penny, lives in the town of Sparrow, that ever since they drowned the witches, the three sisters, they've always had they've never really liked outsiders, and that's xenophobia. And even though it wasn't something that was like deeply and politically discussed in this book, it is, I think, very relevant and adds a certain layer of the story, adds a certain layer to the story. And it was just beautiful writing. It was just so lovely. It is, I would classify it a bit as flowery writing, but not like overly so. And it went by very quickly. The chapters were very short and it was just utterly captivating. I'm excited to eventually read Winterwood, which is Shea Earnshaw's most recent release. But now I'm thinking I need lunch, and I think we might move on to a scary book, and we might need a second cup of coffee. Need is the wrong word. Want. Mostly I just want to continue to play with my Nespresso. So let's see what we'll eat for lunch. Hello. So because I just finished The Wicked Deep, I'm not in a hurry to jump into another book right this moment, but I wanted to do some chores around the house, and I wanted to show you something that I watch and I used to do on YouTube, and I still might do on YouTube, this channel. Let me see, let me show you. Do you guys know what mukbangs are? It's where people like sit in front of the camera on YouTube and they eat a bunch of food. Sometimes they talk, sometimes they don't. And I'm here for it, like every form of it. For some reason, I'm just obsessed and my boyfriend doesn't get it. So I'm gonna show you on my phone what it looks like. This is my girl, Stephanie Sue. I've been watching her for like 2 years. She talks a lot of like true crime stuff, and she just eats a bunch of food, and she films with her fiance, and I just love watching her eat a bunch of food and talk about true crime. I'm into it. So I'm gonna do a whole bunch of dishes. Oh my God, it's disgusting. So sorry. And I'm gonna watch some mukbangs while we do it. And maybe I'll film one. I haven't done a mukbang in a while. Let me turn you around. I haven't done a mukbang in a minute, but I might do it. I have all the supplies. I might film one tomorrow, and we'll see if my eating capacity has gone down. I'm sure it has, because it's been a long time since I've filmed, and I just don't eat that much anymore, but feeling hungry these days. So I'm gonna go wash some dishes, gonna watch some Stephanie Sue. Let's get it started. Guys, so for lunch, I decided to make golden curry. It is not healthy. There's a lot of sodium, and it just so happens to be vegan. And I was feeling some salty childhood favorite. So here is some food porn for ya. Hello, so I have just finished, let me see. I've just finished Shiver by Junji Ito, and I was just gonna put it here in my library until I can give it back to my good friend Casey, but this was intense. This was probably, yeah, this was good. Is this upside down? Oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm insane. This was so much. There was one, because this is a collection of short stories by Junji Ito, and there was one story that had to do with like oil, and there was pimples, and just talking about it and thinking about it, I will never be able to unsee the scene that happened in this story. Wow. Can I just say that Junji Ito has a very interesting ability to really know what like makes people tick and get under their skin, because there were just things, like I said last time I read his book in his books in one of my blogs, he just knows how to scare people, and like things that I didn't know I was creeped out by, I definitely am creeped out by now. I was actually talking to some friends, I was texting them while I was reading this, and they were like, no, I just can't. His images are so unsettling, and they really are unsettling. But I thoroughly enjoyed this. I now need a mental break because that was a lot, but it was excellent. And I definitely will be reading more of his stuff because I'm addicted. I'm a glutton for punishment. But we will be moving on to Queen of Nothing. I don't know if I will be starting Queen of Nothing tonight. We have friends coming over and we're going to play a Harry Potter board game. My boyfriend brought all the snacks. So I'm real excited about that. Let me show you what we got. So I asked him to come home or go get some like snacks and like sweets because I'm really feeling snacky. And he came home with an apple pie, coconut whipped cream, some red velvet Oreos, which literally, guys, he just came back with this a couple hours ago. I would say more than half is finished. And then he got these chocolate covered marzipan bars, which is really interesting because I was like, have you had marzipan before? And he said, and then he admitted that he heard about marzipan via Great British Bake Show. And then we've got cinnamon rolls, which I don't think we'll make tonight. We'll probably wait to make in the morning, but this brand is really good. I really love this one. So we've got a lot going on here. The mother load. Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday and I have a bit of a change of plans. First, let me say that I know I said it last night when I talked about the manga Shiver by Junji Ito, but I definitely had weird nightmares. So I'm taking a break from spooky things because I just can't. But I have a bit of a change of plans. I've decided I'm going to prolong and just put off reading Queen of Nothing. It has not been getting a lot of good reviews. I'm just too connected with book Twitter and Bookstagram and BookTube that I am afraid of these bad reviews. So what basically I'm gonna do, I know I shouldn't let that sway me from reading books I wanna read because they're not always right, but I'm gonna let the hype die down a little bit. I'm gonna wait and read it in a little bit. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm going to give this my full attention, Wildcat by J.P. Harker. This is the book that the author from the UK sent me. He has been so nice. He's been following me on Instagram, and I just was reminded the other day that well, it's been on my mind, but I was reminded the other day that I really need to go ahead and dig into this. So I am going to be reading this today. I have a lot of plans today. I would like to sew more book sleeves today. I may or may not film a mukbang, I'm not sure. My stomach isn't really feeling up to it today, so I might prolong that, but I'll let you know. So really today what I've got is just some house chores, some reading, definitely some sewing of book sleeves later. So I am waiting for breakfast to cook, but I'm gonna go ahead and continue to read this. I am currently on page 58. So I'm hoping to pass the 100-page mark at least today. That is my goal. It'd be really nice because that means if I pass the 100 mark, I will have read at least 200 pages this weekend, not counting Shiver. Shiver was very long manga and it was very wordy, so definitely I'm counting it, but I don't actually know the page count off of my head. So I'll get back to you with page count later, but it's been a really productive reading weekend and I'm hoping to continue it as we go throughout this Sunday. So those are the plans. Let's get reading. Hello. So I have just made it through, or made it to the 100-page mark of Wildcat by J.P. Harker. I will say that I wasn't entirely convinced just yet of whether I was liking the book, but I feel like it always takes like about 100 pages. It's picking up more. Nothing intense has happened yet. It's still just sort of explaining. So the book starts off with a fight scene, like a battle scene. So that was really cool. And then it kind of tapered off into sort of the daily life of being in the village of this particular tribe that our protagonist Rhiannon, or Rhea, is a part of. And I don't know, it seemed to drag a little bit, but now that I'm past 100 pages, I'm starting to appreciate what's going on in this village. And I think things are starting to pick up. It's hard to say because I'm only just 100 pages in, but I'm taking a pause on this for now because I've got a full setup here. I'm about to embark on making a couple more practice book sleeves, maybe just one today, honestly, because it's kind of a big setup. So let me take you through what I have. So my sewing machine is backwards, but this is my sewing machine. I have a cutting board here, and I've just gotten a rotary cutter. I'm gonna test that out and see how that goes. I've got a big clear ruler so I can just sort of hold things down and make sure I cut straight. I bought myself a pin cushion because all my pins are just like right here, and this is kind of a hassle to like deal with. I'm gonna practice maybe putting some like a latch loop to loop around a button maybe, so that I can make the book sleeve close. And before I move on to my more expensive fabric, I have some practice fabric here, and these are just little pumpkins. If you watched my last vlog, you saw the finished product, but I'm gonna use that. And then I'm gonna put in like white interior. Last time I just used all of the fabric to like be the exterior and interior. That probably didn't make much sense, but I'm gonna try and put this felt interior. So we'll see how that goes. So this is the setup. There's my cat, always in things. So let's get this started. Hello, I am very caffeinated and I'm just heating up my lunch right now because I needed a break. Hey, my dogs are trying to get my banana. So I created another book sleeve. Yes, it's the same fabric as last time, but like I said, this is practice fabric. I got this for very cheap. And I did create a different inside. This is like a white felt inside. It's very sturdy and it does fit a small to medium soft cover book. I will say this is not my favorite. I thought my first one was better for a couple reasons. First off, my lines are a little crooked, but it's hard to really tell, honestly. It's a really nicely made book sleeve. It's very sturdy, but the felt inside gave me a bit of trouble. It snagged on the sewing machine a few times, and it's because it's thick, my sewing machine had trouble sometimes with it. Not necessarily trouble, but it was just less user-friendly, I would say. And because it is so thick, it does tend to sort of like bunch a bit more inside. It's sort of hard to tell. It is very nice. I would say that this is a pretty quality book sleeve. There are some minor imperfections, like it didn't quite line up at the sleeve, so there's a bit of the fabric showing here while there's no real fabric showing there. Other than that, I think it's really good. It's a good, you know, practice one. I did forget to sew on the loop and the button, which was part of the reason here, but logistically I was having trouble figuring it out. So I'm actually gonna make another one after I eat food, and then we'll see where we are. Check back in with you soon. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the end of the vlog. I'm a bit late, but because it's Tuesday morning, but I just wanted to close this out really quickly and give you my page count and talk about, you know, wrapping this up. So I read the rest of The Wicked Deep. That was about 150 pages. So that was really cool. And then I actually read about 70 pages of Wildcat. So that's awesome. I've made a solid dent now. I feel like I'm getting into the story. So what, that's like 220 pages. My cat is always so demanding. All of them, they're all so demanding. And then I read all of Shiver. Now Shiver is a manga, and I am weird about counting manga because it's a book, of course, but you know, there typically is less words. But this particular manga is 333 pages, and it actually is more wordy than you think. There are really solid stories in all of Junji Ito's comics. So technically, what? I'm at 220 plus, wow, I can't math, so we're gonna calculate this. Technically, I read over 600 pages this weekend, if you count this manga. Does manga count? I'm gonna count it this time because it has been a very long time since I've read that much in one weekend, mostly because most of my weekends are so freaking busy. But I made myself relax, and I just really had a good time chilling and reading. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this vlog, this very relaxed vlog. And if you enjoyed the video, please feel free to like the video, comment down below, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you always know when I've got great things coming to you. Bye, y'all.